It's 9:39 a.m. It's Saturday, January 3rd, 2026 in Argentina, and we have plenty of news. The United States has just bombed Venezuela after so many threats, after warning about it for so long, and there is news everywhere, people giving their opinions here and there. There are videos, there are photos, there are tweets from presidents, there is absolutely everything. So we're going to try to cover a little bit. What is Twitter saying? What can you see everywhere? We're going to make this video in the style of reacting to Twitter, mainly because it just happened right now. I want to know your opinions. I want to know your opinions. Down below, use this video to leave your thoughts about it. Let's move on to check what the news outlets are saying, and then we'll see what the general public thinks. La Nación reports we have news headlines. Video. How was the United States bombing of Venezuela during the early hours of this Saturday, January 3rd? President Donald Trump claimed that Nicolás Maduro is his wife after being captured following an attack on the country. We're going to talk about whether they were really captured or not, and here we have a video of the bombing. Let's see if we can turn up the volume.
We have from Que Locura. Watch out, watch out. Look at that explosive stuff, all that explosive stuff that's not exploding yet. Damn, man, his hair caught on fire and that stuff, hey, damn, dude.
During the early hours of this Saturday, January 3rd, President Donald Trump stated through a press release that Nicolás Maduro and his wife Silvia Flores were captured and taken out of Venezuela. After the United States attacked civilian and military facilities in the country, videos of the bombing, which took place around 2 a.m. in Caracas, went viral on social media. During the early morning, photos and videos began to appear on social media in which low-flying planes could be identified. Loud explosions and large fires with columns of smoke. People were seen running through the streets in panic and desperation. Here we have another video. Ooh, damn. They're falling, yes. A cable news network team reported that the first explosion was recorded in Caracas at 1:50 and that some areas of the city were without electricity. As the aircraft flew overhead, a new attack struck the capital at 2:38. The Venezuelan media outlets Efecto Cocuyo and Tal Cual Digital reported that explosions were also heard in the state of La Guaira, north of Caracas, and on the country's coast. And what about Higuerote, a coastal city in Miranda? On the other hand, witnesses at the scene claimed that an attack took place at the La Carlota Air Base, which operates as a military airport. We've already seen this video. The United States successfully carried out a large-scale attack against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolás Maduro, who was captured and taken out of the country along with his wife. This operation was carried out in collaboration with United States law enforcement forces, President Donald Trump stated in a statement via X. He also assured that there will be a press conference at 11 local time in Mar-a-Lago. It was a good plan with many troops and great people. It was a brilliant operation, the president later stated in an interview with the New York Times. They took away our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. They expelled our companies and we want to get it back. On the other hand, Maduro's regime expressed, Venezuela rejects, condemns, and denounces to the international community the serious military aggression by the current United States government against Venezuelan territory and people. During the early morning, the Vice President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, stated in an audio broadcast on television that, in the face of this brutal situation and the brutal attack, they did not know the whereabouts of President Nicolás Maduro and his wife and demanded proof of life for both of them. For his part, President Javier Milei celebrated the capture of Maduro through his personal X account and expressed, "Freedom is advancing, long live freedom, damn it." Later, Minister of National Security Patricia Bullrich said Venezuela will be free. Minister of Defense Luis Petri echoed the president's message. Let's see what they say about it on Twitter. I recorded myself and saved a few tweets to check later. Chaos in Caracas due to the bombings over Venezuela. Residents leave their homes in the early morning and follow the news out of fear of more attacks on the capital. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, want to make some noise over there?
Mary? Yes, sure.
Check if it's inside, dude. Look at how the cabinets look. The United States Air Force has completely disabled all file tracking. I mean, the tracking of all flights. Basically, so people can't virtually see where the planes are. Let's see what Jim McGovern has to say. Without authorization from Congress and with the majority of Americans opposing military action, Trump has just launched an unjustified and illegal attack against Venezuela. He says we don't have enough money for Americans' health care, but somehow we have unlimited funds for war. Huh? 9 months before the 2024 election, Trump said he wanted Venezuela to collapse so he could take it over and get oil, and now he's bombing Caracas on the first full moon of 2026. This was never about drugs, it was always about oil. This is what people are saying on Twitter. We're reading different tweets. Look at this. Look at this. Look at what it is. Look at what it is. American helicopters are bombing the Venezuelan military base Fuerte Tiuna in Caracas. They say there are civilian victims here, and we see a car.
A car that was bombed here in the airport district of Caracas with the deceased and everything inside the car. When it's 10 to 5 in the morning.
China or Russia will not come to help Venezuela, since the United States agreed to do the same with Taiwan and Ukraine, according to Russian media. The most striking bombing video from Caracas yet. Another one is coming, another one. Go, let's see. Amarico. If they bomb or invade Venezuela with a Chinese special envoy present, the situation could get even worse, he says. Maduro says it feels like yesterday, just 7 hours ago. He met with Qiu Xiaoqi, special envoy of the Chinese President Xi Jinping in Caracas. In other words, there was a Chinese diplomat in Caracas at the time of the invasion. Let's see what Melania Stansbury says. The White House confirms tonight the United States military operations in Venezuela. Let's be clear. These attacks are illegal. The president does not have the authority to declare war or undertake large-scale military actions without Congress. Congress must act to stop him immediately. This is the video that's circulating everywhere, right? How could we forget when the United States liberated Iraq, Libya, and Afghanistan from dictators and set them on the path to becoming democracies? People on Twitter are saying like, wait. The United States is conducting airstrikes in Caracas, Venezuela, and some videos show American helicopters. Currently, military installations and refineries are being targeted, and we have a lot of videos.
Look, man, it's really intense, dude. You're about to see a fire, but something crazy, you know? Hey, Marin, please, something is happening.
Shit, man.
Don't work at the airport, man. What are we doing? Why are we doing this here?
Flash. Nicolás Maduro was captured and taken out of Venezuela, says Donald Trump about Maduro. There are conflicting reports. Let's see. Pedro Sanchez in Spain says, the government of Spain is closely monitoring the events in Venezuela. Our embassy and consulates are operational. We call for de-escalation and responsibility. International law and the principles of the United Nations Charter must be respected. Another reason for her to block me? Some go ahead, says Vicente Diaz, a worker for the restoration of the Constitution, freedom, and democracy in Venezuela. Welcome, Luis Enzo. I block insults. This person is opposed to Maduro and says I am opposed to Maduro's government. There are plenty of reasons. I won't list them here, but before being an opponent, I am Venezuelan and therefore I reject any act of war by any country against my country. Everyone should take the position they see fit. And here we have this. I think it's what Donald Trump had posted. The United States launched a major attack on Venezuela, capturing President Nicolás Maduro and his wife and flying them out of the country. This operation was carried out in collaboration with United States law enforcement. Details will be provided soon. A press conference will be held at Mar-a-Lago today at 11 a.m. Thank you. They vowed to end wars, yet within a year they're bombing the world just like before. Latin America, known for peace, is experiencing its first bombing in 35 years. Diosdado Cabello appeared amid rumors about his whereabouts after the bombings in Caracas and other parts of Venezuela. His presence is crucial in a scenario like this, both in the barracks and in the streets.
It's not about the Bolivarian Revolution. It's an attack on Venezuela and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. The military forces, the police forces. Here with me, a group of them.
Well, he kind of repeats the same thing again. Analysts suggest it would be a coordinated operation using conventional airstrikes and special forces. Most likely it will be a specific operation due to the nature of the actions. Based on the images so far, the helicopters are believed to belong to the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. Their main role is inserting, covering, and extracting special units in hostile areas, which is where you see the types of helicopters used. We've already seen this. Venezuela. The Minister of Defense of Venezuela is alive and released a message calling for anti-imperialism and the war of liberation against the American empire.
January. The Venezuelan people have been subjected to the most criminal military aggression by the government of the United States of America so far. The barbarity of the invading forces that have desecrated our sacred soil. In the areas of Fuerte, Tuna, Caracas, and the states of Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaira. They ended up striking with their missiles and rockets fired from their combat helicopters in residential areas populated by civilians. For this reason, we are already gathering information regarding the injured and the dead. In the face of this vile and cowardly attack that threatens the peace and stability of the region, we raise the strongest condemnation.
Okay, what else do we have? Here? What are they saying? Trump attacked Venezuela and kidnapped Maduro, which is illegal under United States and international law. According to the United States Constitution, a president cannot launch an attack against a foreign nation without the approval of Congress. Trump confirms attack in Venezuela. Fox News reports Maduro and his wife captured. So this is the Fox News report, correct? And here, what does it say? We have another post that says Latin American problems require Latin American solutions, not American bombs. Latin America solves its problems peacefully. The last war between two Latin American countries was 35 years ago, lasted a month and had no civilian casualties. The United States invades, not intervenes. Trump is a psychopath, but I can't understand it. Those who truly desire this in Venezuela, Mexico, or anywhere in Latin America. We have a lot of people giving their opinions about it. Eduardo Galeano's words are more relevant today than ever. Eduardo Galeano, author of Open Veins of Latin America, said that whenever the United States saves a people, it leaves them as either an insane asylum or a cemetery. And here we have someone highlighting a tweet from December 30th that says, the next 72 hours are crucial. Some decisions will be made that could change the world. And this was posted on December 30th. Well, and here obviously it says, it took the United States 3 hours to capture Maduro, but they can't release all the files. Epstein. Here they point out again that it seems Maduro was captured and says, let's see, Xi Jinping. The United States doesn't care about its allies. It acts solely in its own interests and will quickly abandon a partner if doing so is beneficial, sacrificing them without hesitation. Well, there's nothing we can do but sleep scared, because if they did it to Venezuela, the most likely next country is Colombia, United States. The cancer of the world, that's what people from other countries think. This must even be a Colombian guy giving his opinion. This is not just an aggression against Venezuela, but against all of Latin America and the world. The empire is the enemy, and every United States embassy orchestrates plans against our nations and peoples. They have already threatened half the continent. Either we act in unison or we will be next. Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez says Nicolás Maduro and his wife have disappeared. Trump states that they were captured on January 2nd. This person was doing something big and something bigger was coming. Little heart. If you think that Trump will go down as the worst president in history, there's a lot of rejection. I really see a lot of rejection against Donald Trump's actions on social media. I don't know if it's my opinion bubble, but I see it. The United States has launched a major attack on Venezuela and President Nicolás Maduro. We've already read it 20 times, but this time the tweet was posted by the White House account, so now we've seen it. Well, the pizza theory says that every time they order a bunch of pizza near the Pentagon, it's because something big is coming, and here it's confirmed as Pixacto Pizza. Look, at 2 in the morning, they were much busier than usual. Look at the amount of pizza they ordered at that hour. Let's see what else we have. Gabriel Boric in Chile. The government of Chile expresses concern and condemns the United States military actions in Venezuela. We urge a peaceful resolution to the country's serious crisis. Chile reaffirms its adherence to basic principles of international law, such as the prohibition of the use of force, non-intervention, the peaceful settlement of international disputes, and the territorial integrity of states. The Venezuelan crisis must be resolved through dialogue and the support of multilateralism, not through violence or foreign interference. Let's see what else. Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez confirms Nicolás Maduro's disappearance on national television.
From the United States took the misstep that Venezuela has been denouncing. They launched a brutal airstrike, violating the United Nations Charter and breaking any kind of binding regulations. How should differences between sovereign states be regulated? We are truly more than outraged. The Venezuelan people are outraged. The cradle of our liberator father, the capital, Caracas, was attacked. The capital.
Let's see. China reportedly told Venezuela via satellite surveillance that the United States would attack tonight. This was prior to the bombings. Trump bombs Caracas. And here we've kind of already seen it. Here we have this image. I think it's artificial intelligence. Yes, it's artificial intelligence, this image. We're in a complicated era also because of artificial intelligence. Because right now you don't know when an image is real or when it's not. Nicolás Maduro, at the time this video is being recorded, at 10 in the morning on January 3rd, 2026 here in Argentina, Maduro's whereabouts are unknown. This image might not seem real, but well, we also live in a time of total misinformation, where with artificial intelligence you can create any image. It's a bit confusing and I just woke up, so I'm still sleepy. Chinese officials also arrived in Venezuela for talks with President Maduro. It's a coincidence that the enemies always have oil, and then it's always kind of the same thing. The Venezuelan defense chief says we will not surrender. Here's someone reading the cards who said that on January 3rd,
Nicolás Maduro's dictatorial government will definitely end. I do see it finally ending. Not the way. Honestly, I see it being pretty tough. A lot of deaths. You could say that since this card appears. Look, it's the Three of Swords, which represents tears and suffering. Venezuela's recovery won't be easy and will take time, but I believe Nicolás Maduro's end is in sight.
Do you see it happening soon? We could be talking about the first, second, or third quarter of the year.
First quarter of the year. 3 days, weeks, months. Yes, it shows you a 3, the 3, the 3. And above all, I see his escape because he's going to run away. He's not going to turn himself in. He's going to run away then, but I do see the end.
Wow, that's wild. He got the 3 and the bombing happened on January 3 RD. Let's see, isn't it necessary to support and back Nicolás Maduro's government? Admitting support for military action against a non-aggressive state violates basic legal principles. I call this a distraction from the files. Epstein, United States intervention in World War II. We have a map showing all the countries the United States has intervened in since World War II. Urgent. Russia is deeply concerned and condemns the act of armed aggression by the United States against Venezuela, says the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Well, and I think we pretty much have it here already. Gustavo Petro says, we just finished the National Security Council since 3 a.m. The public force and all available assistance forces are being deployed at the border in case of a large influx of refugees. The Colombian embassy in Venezuela is responding to assistance requests from Colombians there. As United Nations Security Council members, we seek to convene the council. The government of Colombia condemns the attack on Venezuela's and Latin America's sovereignty. Internal conflicts among peoples are resolved by the peoples themselves in peace. That is the principle of self-determination of peoples, which is the foundation of the United Nations system. I urge Venezuelans to seek civil dialogue and unity. A nation cannot exist without sovereignty. Peace is the way, and dialogue among peoples is fundamental for national unity. Dialogue and more dialogue is our proposal. Well, I think that's what we have here. I think there are no more updates about it. We already have a very long video. Trump gave Maduro the chance to leave Venezuela and go into exile. Maduro knew his allies weren't going to come to his rescue. I think that's as far as we go. Let's see what he says. Nicolás Maduro and Celia Flores were indicted in the Southern District of New York. Nicolás Maduro has been charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy, conspiracy to import cocaine, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices against the United States. Soon they will face the wrath of American justice on American soil and in American courts. On behalf of the Department of Justice, I thank President Trump for demanding accountability for the American people. And a huge thank you to our brave armed forces who carried out the incredible and successful mission to capture these 2 alleged international drug traffickers. For now, it's still unclear whether they were captured or if they went into exile. What happened? No, I don't have any more news. I'm here updating the beginning. I think that's all. For now, we don't have any more updates. At 10:05 in the morning, the United States has bombed Venezuela. There are mixed opinions, of course, and we will be trying to report. We'll see if we have any updates about it. At the moment, the whereabouts of Maduro are unknown. We don't know where he is. There are statements from all sides, and it also seems that there were Chinese diplomats at the time of the bombing. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. That's how we start the year. That's how we start 2026. I'm going to try to cover this news from here and probably from that day as well. So stay tuned, and I want to see your opinions down here.